Hey everybody, John Grimsmo here and welcome to another Saga Saturday. In this video we're going to talk about finishes of our pens. We've done a bunch of different finishes over time and we've got about 2 or 3 that we do consistently now and I want to show them to you. So even just of the pens that I carry every single day, 1, 2, 3, yes I carry 3 pens. We have a satin finish on this one, which is just kind of brushed with sandpaper when we're spinning it in the drill. It's a precision operation, which takes some skill to master. And then our tumbled finish on this pen, it's our stonewash finish. This pen's from 2018, so this is kind of our old tumble. We have a newer tumble now, totally different tumbler, totally different media. And then my third pen also has the satin finish. This is copper. Copper with a titanium clip versus the satin bronze with a titanium tip. To stage and store our parts, we use these dental racks from Amazon. I forget exactly what they're called, but maybe we can find the link and put it in the description. They're not that expensive. They come in a 2 or 3 pack and they can break. They're not the greatest quality, but they work great for staging all our parts. The parts don't clank together. It lets us stage colors and setups. We get clip, tip, tube, slider, everything. And then to store the mechanisms, these are ammo containers that one of the guys brought in. So we'll assemble mechanisms and store them like this. So finishes on the mechanism, we usually don't tumble the slider at all. We just leave them bright and as machined because they ended up looking really, really good. We have tumbled them in the past. I know that my slider on one of my older pens was tumbled. But for the most part now, the machining is good enough that they look amazing. And then they're brighter, the colors look great. We've been tumbling our knife parts and our pen parts basically forever, and we've gotten extremely good at it. Cleanliness is absolutely important, and even the quality and the age of the stones matters. So these ceramic stones are vibrating in a bowl tumbler in a tub, vibrating at a certain frequency that makes them roll around and basically abrade and scratch the surface in a million different ways, eventually leading to a very smooth, very beautiful tumbled finish that kind of crackles under the light and looks really amazing. It also hides minor scratches and fingerprints and things like that fairly well. Now, satin is a finish that we developed a couple years ago, which is fairly simple. It's just holding a piece of certain grit sandpaper, putting your part in a drill. We have a sacrificial tube that we thread into the other side so that the drill can clamp onto it. Spin it, hold your sandpaper, grip it down, and basically very consistently brush it across. It ends up with an amazing looking finish that looks just really cool and really spectacular. And when anodizing, it lets the grooves pop. So these grooves were anodized gold first, satin, and then the rest of the pen was anodized purple, I believe. This one too, similar story. The whole pen was anodized gold and then satined with the sandpaper, and that kind of scrubs off the highs, and then it was anodized this vibrant purple color. So that way the inside is still completely gold because it was gold. Let's go to the microscope. So here we have a silver Saga. That's as far as I can zoom out, boys. Silver Saga that's been brushed, satin finish, and it looks amazing. No deeper scratches than any others, very consistent, very nice. Going to the anodized satin. So it's cool because inside the threads is still gold, like inside the tip is still going to be gold, hard to tell in this lighting. But even the front of the tip is gold. Looks sweet. Moving on to a rack of titanium tumbled parts. So that's what the stonewash looks like up super close. And you can see that every one of those stones just put a tiny little impact crater. It does not get into the engraving, but it gives it this super cool luster. And it does smooth out the edges and kind of deburrs everything ever so slightly. But I'm telling you, we don't use tumbling to deburr very much. We use it for surface finish. That is our primary use case. When we tumble, the parts are assembled. We have a dummy tip on the other side so that the threads don't get tumbled at all, so that gunk doesn't get into the threads. Yep, tumbling just smooths out the surface finish. And looks awesome. And here you can see it's either a fingerprint or a watermark from cleaning, which still needs to be cleaned again, which it will. You can see in the scratches, some of them are long scratches, some of them are short scratches, and we've kind of developed that process with how wet we run the media, etc. So here we got a clip under the microscope. This is 6436. Every clip is individually serialized. These get tumbled too. We're going to have a lot more videos on clips in the future because I actually want to switch it to a different machine and I want to redo a bunch of the way we do this, so don't judge too hard. I want to improve this over time. You can still see some of the milling marks, didn't get tumbled out. I want to do better, and we will. But we got the year inside of each one, 2023. But yeah, look at that tumble. Just looks so good. So lately we've been experimenting with tumbling the threaded sleeve. So it's threaded into a tube so that this upper surface gets that tumbled finish as well. See what it looks like. I think it looks pretty cool. And then we still have a polished button or machined button on top, so you get this kind of nice contrast. And then the scratches we're getting down here on the body of it are irrelevant because they're in the assembly. Okay, you may be wondering why we have to do this at all, why we have to do tumbled or satin in the first place. Well, let me show you some tubes right off the machine. This is basically the incoming material quality and the junk that happens to it during machining. So here's my first example, which is, we've got it circled in Sharpie. Foreign object damage, FOD. These are dents or scratches or imperfections that will not tumble out, they will not satin out. These are just, I pulled these out of the scrap bin because they're not sellable parts. Like, they make a great pen, but they don't make a beautiful pen. So they will not leave our shop. They might go on my pen. So that's one example. Here's a more realistic example with, you see all these lengthwise scratches. Some of these might be able to tumble out, but this is in the scrap bin for a reason. Some of these are deeper. So this is when the collet in the Swiss might have burrs inside, so when it's sliding through, it might scratch it, things like that. Or if the clamping pressure, I think on this one, the clamping pressure was too much, it's dented. I can feel a step there, right here. That's not good. So these are the kind of things. This one's not bad. A couple lengthwise scratches, but also the main quality of the surface, that's the ground finish of the bar. We buy precision ground stock. It's a lot more expensive. It gives you the perfect diameter for the Swiss, but it also gives you an excellent surface finish. And we've been struggling with different vendors supplying us different quality of ground surface finish on the centerless grinding of the tubes, or we buy them as rod and we drill them out. So, I mean, surface finish and surface quality is one of our biggest attributes, and we work very hard to make it good so that you guys can have a great product and never have to think about it. Here's another great example of a scratch that is totally unacceptable. Alright guys, thanks for watching another Saga Saturday. This was fun to talk about surface finishes, just kind of a brief overview, but it's something we take very seriously and we put a lot of effort into. And then we've got to make sure not to scratch them at the end of the line here up in the shipping office. Last thing, most important, don't forget to subscribe so we can catch up to John Saunders. We've gotten, what, like 1,000 subscribers in the past month of like pushing it, which is good. I'm expecting momentum over time, and you guys are doing good. So keep it up, keep helping the channel, and we'll keep doing videos, and this is fun. So, all right, stay tuned until next Saturday for more.